Hey guys, welcome to another Critique the Community. Today we are going to be critiquing photography related to technology. But if you'd like to be part of the next critique, we're going to be doing seamless backgrounds. This was your idea. Do you want to explain this?
Our last video on our YouTube channel is all about installing seamless paper here in our studio, and I thought, why don't we open up something that's not super form-fitting, but anything that's shot on a colored backdrop. So if you have any killer shots with seamless backdrops, you can use the link in the description to upload your photos, and then we will get to that next week.
Yep. All right, we're gonna make this this video a little bit more conversational. We're gonna just chat about some things that are on our mind as we go. But let's go ahead and start with this, and then we'll talk about why your arm's broken and things like that in a little bit. This is the highest rated image. You won a free tutorial from fstoppers.com/store. Do you know what this is, Patrick?
I'm not a car or I'm a technology guy, although you would argue otherwise.
Yeah, you're like
I'm not an
my
automotive
grandpa.
person, so I feel like this looks like a brushless motor, or it's some kind of, I don't know. I'm just gonna stop talking before everyone says what an idiot.
So I don't know what it is either. I think it's a turbo or a supercharger for an engine, but I don't know which one of the two it is. I would imagine this is a turbo, but I could be very wrong. Are you ready to rate it?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. You went 4?
Yep.
You might have to switch hands, Patrick.
You're gonna have to really look here.
I went 3.
3.
Yeah, I feel like this is okay. I'm not blown away by this. The lighting on this is all right. The background looks a little too simple to me. The light that's coming from the middle of this looks a little sloppy to me. It just kind of feels like a decent shot of a product, but nothing that's blowing me away, nothing that would push me to a 4.
Yeah, I feel like this is lit pretty well, especially when you see all those little, I don't even know what to call them. They look like gills, or they look like a heat sink or something. Like, that looks really cool to me. It looks like a lot of work went into this. I do agree the background's a little boring, but I could imagine that if you shoot this kind of stuff, if you shoot like high-end parts and electronics, then maybe this is perfect for that field. Nobody's going to be upset with that.
I think it's okay. I think it's decent. I think that's why I gave it 3 stars.
Do you remember the video game as a kid? It was like Cubert, and it was like a pyramid, like a 3D pyramid, and you jumped each one. It's kind of like Pac-Man. This looks like Cubert's face. You'll have to look up Cubert, but it's like a character with like a big nose. This
will be edited out of the critique for sure. All right, let's see what the community says. 3.3, and that's the highest rated image. That's pretty rough.
Oh boy.
All right, well, before we get to the next image, I think people want to know because they can't see your digits.
I think you can see, right?
What did you do to yourself?
I actually fell off of an electronic scooter. So technology, like I was using technology like I always do, and I was using it in a very poor manner. Basically, I got behind somebody on our street, and they were going really slow. They were going like 10 miles an hour.
So it's their fault?
It's not their fault, but they were leaving the neighborhood, which makes me feel like, they weren't, I don't know, people drive around and explore and look at the houses. Maybe they do.
They were enticing you.
I was like, should I pass this car on an electric scooter and look like an idiot? Like a douchebag or something, or should I wait and just stay behind them and then I'll get on the bike path? Well, as I'm behind them, I start trying to pop wheelies, and suddenly I pulled a little too hard, and I think I hit the throttle.
What's funny to me, every time you tell the story, you tell the story about how there's a car and it was slow and everything, but the only thing that really matters is you tried to pop a wheelie and you hurt your hand. Like, that's the story. It has nothing to do with that other person.
I'm trying to just build it up, like, what was that? Why was I trying to pop a wheelie at 10 miles an hour? And like, I have you like to issue out blame. I put 10% blame on this driver. 90% blame's on me.
Okay.
But anyway, long story short, I yank it back, and I think just like this, remember Spain when we were on like a real scooter, and like I lift it up, I hit the throttle, and next thing I know, the whole scooter I think is outrunning me. So I didn't go over the handlebars, but I went straight down, and I caught myself with my right hand. But basically, if you ever hurt your wrist, this is like the #1 cause of breaking your wrist. And I don't know that it's actually broken, but I went to the hospital here. I had my first hospital experience. I've been telling people I can't go to the hospital while I live in Puerto Rico. Don't do it. Like, just don't have that experience. I had it within the first 3 months.
Well, you survived, and they gave you a pain medication in the form of a shot in your butt, right?
Yeah, the nurse is like, I need you to pull down your pants. And I'm like, well, where is this going?
What year is it? What is going on?
I don't know. I mean, how does she get away with that? You know, if I said that to a nurse, I'd be, you know, in trouble. But
maybe she recognized you and she had the opportunity to
well, the best way to kill pain in
celebrity.
your wrist is through your ass cheek.
Okay.
Anyway, that's enough of that story. Before we move on to the next image, we need to pick a random winner. We always forget to do this. Mm-hmm. So pick a number 1 through
3.
2 through 20.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Yes.
We'll be
Because we
done with
always
this.
forget.
All right. So here's the next image.
Yep. Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. 3? Is that 3?
Yeah, that's 3.
So I really want to give this 4 stars. I feel like this ear cup that's closest to the camera looks fantastic. The lighting looks great. The ear cup itself looks great. But then you start looking around this image and you start noticing that things are kind of sloppy. Like, look at the ear cup on the far side. Look at how wrinkledy it all is. That needs to be taken care of. Look at the way the laptop appears to be, you know, falling on a slant. Like, it almost appears that this entire image is not straight. It's tilted to the right a little bit. The composition isn't great, but I feel like the lighting is so good that I want to give this 4 stars, but it just needs a little bit more polishing. But
Like, I would have never noticed the ear cut. Maybe I would have if I looked long enough. I feel like this is styled and graded and shot in such a way that this is really popular right now. You know, you look at a lot of brand, you know, advertisements, and this is kind of the style. My biggest problem is I feel like the wallet, if that's what that is, and the glass. I just want to see those removed, and I don't know what you could put back there.
there has to be something over there.
I feel like the glass, it looks like it's whiskey or it looks like it's sweet tea. It doesn't look like it belongs there. And then the wallet just looks like, you know, they have like junk on top of their wallet, like a money clip or something.
See, I don't mind that. I kind of feel like
You should go all out. Like, you should put the watch and some change or something else where that glass is and make it feel like, you know, they've just kind of dumped everything on the countertop. Because that's kind of the impression you get with the phone and everything.
That's why I like the concept here. It's almost like this is an everyman's desk. It's messy. It's got all the junk that we all have in our pockets.
You just change that cup out for like a cool coffee cup, and I feel like suddenly it has...
Maybe. I like the light coming through that drink. I feel like that color is kind of pulling the image together for me.
I think it's a color palette thing. I think this whole image has a lot of blues and purples and very like subdued, warm brown tones. And then that tone back there, to me, it's pulling me out of this. I feel like, you know, sometimes complementary colors really work. I don't know that. I want to see that color spilling into the scene more, or I want it to be like removed and changed out. Do you know what Sennheiser headphones these are?
No, I do not.
You're like a Bose fanboy. That's all you...
I love Bose QC35 headphones and the
They're
Quiet
good,
Comfort
they're
15s.
nice, but sometimes don't you want something different?
No, I
No?
don't. They're so comfortable, man. I don't like when headphones smash my ears, and Bose are one of the few headphones that hit your head and leave your ear alone. Community gives this 2.7 stars. Patrick,
Oh boy.
do you feel like you're wrong now with 4?
I gave that a 3.
Oh, you gave this 3. We
I gave this
agree.
3. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where have you been?
Well, I thought your hand
I said
was...
3. No, you got to look. This pinky can't go any further down. It's
Oh,
3.
all right. Well, all right. We're
Yeah,
on the
I
same
said
page.
3.
Okay.
Rewind the tape like you always like to do.
1, 3, is that 3? Yeah, that's 3.
Okay,
right.
so this is the tutorial winner.
Yeah, congratulations. You've won another free tutorial from fstoppers.com/store. David will be reaching out to you on fstoppers.com. Are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. 2 stars. Okay. I don't really like the composition of this. It's not centered. It just kind of feels sloppy. That could easily be fixed with a crop. But then it's just this whole image and everything about it just kind of feels like a snapshot to me. It's not so bad that I feel like anybody with a cell phone camera would have snapped this. I think there's something artistic about it, but I'm not a big fan of this shot. To make this interesting, you're going to have to do something with the color grading. If you don't want to go in and really start editing this.
See, I was thinking dodging and burning. I would like to see what's closest to the camera darker and have your eye really lead you through. And it's just like the light here is not flattering light.
Yeah.
All the reflections, like, you know, I don't know there's anything you can do about that. You know, some things, they reflect light really beautifully. Other times they don't. Maybe you could go in here with like frequency separation and remove all the frequencies and add gradients and use this basic image as a template to make some kind of visual art. But I just think the way things are reflecting and the tones, it just doesn't look that exciting. Now I could imagine if you burned the edges and added a vignette or something, and then you put like, what is the like the 007 logo? You put a guy down there at the very bottom. I know that might not be technology anymore, but like there is something cool you could use this plate for.
I feel like, I mean, it looks like the future. It looks like something out of a spaceship. So you could certainly do something with it.
It
but
looks
like you
retro
said,
to me. This looks like 1970s NASA or something.
Okay.
It looks too.
Well, yeah, maybe it's like
Space Mountain's a great one. Like
Yeah.
it's an old.
Community 2.6 stars. What the heck?
Man, weren't you looking at buying one of these?
So I am obsessed with the Sony Aibo dog. Did you have things when you were young that you really wanted and you felt like, man, if I just had some money? You know, for a lot of people it might be shoes. We see a lot of people our age going and buying these ridiculous exactly.
Yes.
Buying, you know, these ridiculous one-off Jordans for $3,000 because they couldn't afford them when they were 8 years old. Is there anything?
And it like would make you popular and happy in life?
Yeah, but you hold on to that. You know, there's adults who buy all the Star Wars figurines because that was their favorite movie when they were.
Dude,
they
I was
were
in
a
an
kid.
Uber in Boston, and I get in the Uber. It's like 3 in the morning. I had this 3 a.m. flight back to Puerto Rico, and I had the Uber driver with all the figurines. I mean, it was like what we had in.
Was it Star Wars?
Yeah, it was all Star Wars, all in his dash, and like.
See, those weren't legit figurines because you would never.
He probably has
But
2. He has the packaged ones at home, and then he has.
the ones just for the car. Yeah.
So, what are you trying to say? Like, how is having Air Jordans having the same as having a fake dog?
asking you if you had certain things in your life that were kind of on your bucket list. Man, we've got an interesting story about the bucket list as well. But that when you became successful and wealthy, that you were like, I'm going to spend my money on this. And I don't. Maybe it's guitars for you.
Yeah, I like guitars. I like amps, but
Nothing really.
no. But maybe like as an adult or as a kid, like.
Something as a kid that you really liked and appreciated, and then now that you have money, you're like, this is how I'm going to buy this thing I always wanted. The whole reason
I don't
I'm
know
bringing
that I
all this
ha- yeah,
up,
I don't know that I have that.
I don't feel like you do have that. My thing was always a jet ski. Like that was the pinnacle
That
of
was
success.
what I could say, but I've had the opportunity to buy a jet ski. I think you were like, you want to go in and buy 2?
Yeah.
And I said no, but it's logistics, storing it and putting it in the water.
I bought one. Like
That's definitely, yeah, jet skis up there.
But then the other one was Sony Aibo dog. Like when I saw the Sony Aibo
I don't
first
even know
come
what
out,
this is.
it was like Sony made this robotic dog. It was one of the most advanced robots you could ever buy for your house.
Okay.
And it, you know, it was still probably a horrible product, but I was obsessed with it when it first came out. But it was ridiculously priced. I think it was over $2,000.
Does it look like a real dog?
No.
Does it look like this?
No.
No.
But you said you were thinking about buying this, so I'm telling this entire story, and you're like shitting on my story right now. But they just released the new Sony Aibo, and I think it's $3,000 or $4,000. But I've seriously
I
considered
just don't
buying
get
it.
the point of having a robotic dog. Like, if it's like, what is the company that always makes the crazy military dogs?
Oh, Boston Dynamics.
If it's a Boston Dynamic dog, I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I understand. But if it's not that,
I agree.
I don't know why you would want this weird dog.
This
It's
is the way I feel about it. I agree that it's probably the type thing I'd be tired of in a few days, but I love the technology. I would love to have the Boston Dynamic dog with the arm that's opening doors and carrying packages for me, but I can't buy that. That's not a realistic thing.
Yeah.
I can buy the Sony Aibo and I can test out the features, and I can throw the ball and it can, it can fetch and it can recognize my face and it can come when it's called. Like, that's incredible technology to me.
So is a real dog.
Yeah,
That's
that's
pretty
been done.
remarkable,
That's been done,
too.
and I've had the real dog. I've
Yeah,
never had
well,
the Sony Aibo.
Here is not the Sony Aibo. This is just Aibo.
Yeah, are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. I'm in between a 1 and a 2 on this.
It can't be a 1 by definition.
I guess like something has been done here, but yeah, photo's not great. I'm not.
Is the finger even? Is that even real?
I don't know. The finger looks kind of jacked up. The lighting's bad. I don't know that any part of this is in focus. Maybe this was shot at like f1, 2. I don't know. And then putting a blurry.
My biggest problem with this, everything aside, is just that the dog looks off and the power button is clearly on. Should be a red power button, right? It should be red. Why is it green?
That would have made it a 5-star image, right?
It made a solid 3. Like,
All
at
right.
least they thought through this.
Let's move on. 2.12.
Oh, what in the world is this?
So.
Okay, so this is Legos. Wow, like that's where Legos have come now?
I don't know that this is where So I have seen recently a full-scale Bugatti. I don't know if this is the Chiron or the Veyron, but I've seen a full-scale Lego version of this car online. It's amazing. This does not look like that.
This is either a big car where they made huge Legos to make this look like that, or you can just tell how few parts there are.
Right,
this isn't
exactly.
like thousands and thousands, millions of
yeah,
pieces.
Yeah.
This is but I mean, I used to love is it Technique or Technic Legos?
I don't
know if they still
okay.
brand them that way, but it looked like this, where you push a button and there'd be a hydraulic and it would do things,
I see.
Those are like my favorite Legos.
I don't think I could never afford that. And I sat at home wishing for a Sony Aibo dog, a jet ski.
Maybe that's it. I had
and
everything.
Tectonic
I had
Legos.
the
Yeah, you rich asshole. All right. What are we gonna rate this?
But I'll rate it
in your portfolio. 3, 2, 1. What is that?
3.
You got to say it out. If you're gonna throw these like weird broken fingers
3.
out, yell it out. I'm in between a 2 and a 3 on this.
What portfolio does this belong in first and foremost? Is this like, could you be a toy photographer or like a macro photographer or some kind of?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of an interesting image. I would imagine this is a gaming PC. It's definitely a gaming PC in the background.
It's a Dell.
Dell doesn't have the window, but it's cool. I mean, it's one of the best photos I've ever seen of a Lego car. I don't really know what else to say about it. Maybe the background could be a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I
that
was
black
thinking the same
area on the
thing.
left is a little dark.
Maybe there's like an overlay that you could put that would just add like a wash or like a light leak or something. I might even think that through a lot of these images we're about to see, like the technology side of it. I'm just shocked that that's what Legos look like these days.
Community, 3 stars. They agree with us exactly. So just to quickly mention this, we had lunch with a movie scriptwriter, director, producer who's considering moving down here. He just reached out to me and invited us to lunch.
Do you remember his full name?
I don't even remember his first name, to be honest with you.
Justin's
I was
his
thinking
first
it was
name,
Justin.
you could probably look it up.
Look it up. He wrote the movie The Bucket List, and that's interesting in itself. But he was the first person to come up with the phrase bucket list for the things that you want to do before you kick the bucket. And that phrase...
That's crazy.
I mean,
that's probably on, you have like Wanderlust. It's probably one of the top 10, maybe top 5 hashtags on Instagram.
Really?
I would imagine bucket list. That's like... It's so ingrained in our society and vocabulary now. Like, it's probably one of the largest... I don't know if it's a slang word, but it's one of the largest new words ever made that I can think of.
I feel the exact same way. I mean, everyone uses that word now. And when he told us, I was the one who made that word up, I think the look on our faces was the same.
To be honest, sorry, Justin, I didn't believe him.
Right. Well,
until he said, I wrote the script for Bucket List, and that clearly became the name, and then he told the backstory of how he made this.
But then he said somebody who studies the English language didn't believe this to be true either, and wrote a paper on the foundation of this term and was able to prove that no, it was this guy.
Yeah.
He said he came up with a bucket list when he was in college or something and just wrote bucket list.
A list he wanted to do before he hit the bucket.
Kicked the bucket.
Kicked, hit. I mean, you know, there's some
kicked
kind of
the bucket.
force.
No,
You know.
you kicked the bucket. That's what the phrase.
You
Anyway,
kicked the bucket.
That was very interesting. We met that guy. I told him I want to be a part of his next movie in some way. I have this dream of writing and directing a movie one day, and I just want to be on a real movie set, see how
He also
it
said
goes.
he's really good friends with like one of the most well-known set photographers.
I know.
And that he comes down on every one of his shoots. So if he gets this movie, which will be happening in the next 6 to 8 months, I think it has to happen this year. That guy will be down here. So I'm hoping on our channel soon we will have an interview with a really cool set photographer who shot everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, let's keep on moving on. This is going to be the longest critique in world
They
history.
said they didn't like the 10 images.
That's right. You guys went insane. And here's what's ridiculous. Let me just make this a little bit longer.
Here we go.
We arbitrarily chose 20 images when we started doing this a couple years ago.
We arbitrarily chose the perfect number.
Exactly, and now
perfect
all of
number.
you guys are acting like when I said, hey, why don't we do 10 and just make it a little bit shorter? No, 20 is right. Quit being, people were calling me lazy and stuff. It was ridiculous. Like why is 20, why not 30? Why shouldn't we do 100? Why is 20 the correct
Well, you know,
amount?
that was the same argument for my favorite critique of the community, which was the one with you and Peter Hurley.
No.
Where, why is it arbitrarily 5 stars? Like, why don't we have 1 out of
gosh,
100?
that
Could you
was
imagine if we had to be
ridiculous.
like,
Exactly.
30? I gave this image a 30.
Yeah.
All right.
Next up.
This has a style to it that,
This feels like 1980s.
I know, but it's so in right
Science
now.
fiction.
It's like, this is what all the blogs and all the publications are doing, and it's like, people always say like, oh, that decade will come back, and I never believed it. But as a child of the 80s, it's back. It's like everything, the snare sounds with the reverb are back.
Yeah.
This kind
Yeah,
of
that's
like,
true.
this is almost like graphic art. It's back, you know, like raw hip hop, and there's just so many things that 80s metal guitar isn't back yet. We don't have that.
Comic Sans. Is that back?
I'm sure it will be back soon, you know. We're at the papyrus stage right now.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. 3 stars. We agree.
I like this, but
Interesting image.
it's because of, it looks like graphic art or something.
Yeah.
I don't know that I love this crop. I don't know that I like this as an astro image.
Yep.
I don't like the way that it's like lit and over sharpened.
Yep.
But when you throw everything together, I feel like this looks unlike really any image I could recall seeing in the critique the community we've been doing for years now. So because of that, I think like there's a place for this.
I feel the same way. It's not a very technically good image, but overall, it just kind of feels like this piece of graphic art that is working. What
How
do you
think they shot this?
I mean, I just assume this is.
It's a night shot with like some kind of light hitting this tower, or
Yeah, but it could just be street lights or something. I don't know. What do you think that streak is in the upper left?
Ooh, you about to go down like a conspiracy theory?
Well, now that
Wormhole.
the Earth has been proven to be flat, there's a lot of anomalies like this that can be explained, you know, through governmental intervention and CIA cover-up.
I don't know.
No?
No, I don't have a good conspiracy theory.
I don't know what it is. But interesting image. Community, 2.91.
Actually, it looks kind of cool against that black like that.
Mm-hmm. Are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. 2 stars. We agree. You know, interesting concept. I don't feel like it's very well executed. You know what I might like to see is a real person
No, absolutely.
composited
Yeah,
on there.
Yeah. I don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Of
that's
course,
the number one thing I was
obviously.
gonna- yeah, of
Why would
course,
you
yeah.
even suggest such a
Well, I mean,
thing? Oh my
like
God.
this isn't even a good figurine. Like,
I know, he looks
what is he?
kind of
He's
rough.
like melted or something. Like,
I don't know.
Strange. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, the light's boring. There's so much. Like, this is an image I almost would like to see. It's kind of like with macro. You want to see as much depth of field. If everything was perfectly sharp.
I'd also like to see a little bit more light on other aspects. Oh, and I just realized there's another figurine in the upper left. Couldn't even see him. But yeah, it's just too dark. Most
Well,
of this.
now that you brought that up, I mean, this photographer committed the biggest error, and that's cutting off
Cut
the head.
off a person or figurine's head.
Don't
No,
do
you don't
that.
do it. Community gives it 2.84.
2.8. So this image reminds me of some local TV ads that I remember seeing in the Charleston area, where it's like all the gastrointestinal doctors, are walking down and they're like doing all this complicated stuff, and
Yeah.
they're always saying these lines that sound so scripted and bad, but then at the end they're all like standing like
With their arms crossed in slow
yeah,
motion.
it's what's the movie with all the Van Diesel actors, the Dispendables or Expendables or
Something like
that,
yeah.
and they were always doing something like this where they're spinning. I guess this is a room, so these are probably like realtors. Look, she's dropping a bed in.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to make some people very angry with this. 3, 2, 1. I'm in between a 2 and a 3 again, but here's the thing. I think the graphic design here looks pretty good. The overlay on all, there's lots of little detail, the fonts and all. I think that all looks good. The lighting on the people may not be so bad either. The color grading may not be so bad. I think what's pulling me out of this the most is the models.
Yeah.
And their expressions are bad. They're not the most attractive people. They all look confused. They're not really into this.
I totally agree with you, but here's the thing. Here's why I gave it a 3. I think the lighting actually, for what it is, if this virtual reality thing is supposed to be lighting them, I feel like it actually looks fairly compelling. I feel like if this is in your portfolio and you're advertising to your local market, unless you're in like New York City or some huge market where this isn't going to cut it, I think this actually might get you some jobs. I think people would say, like, that's really cool. We want to do the same thing, and our staff looks like that, We always talk about putting your best foot forward and getting the best models, and I know a lot of people out there don't like to hear that, but you want to put the most attractive people in your portfolio so that it looks the most marketable. Mm-hmm. This image doesn't do that, but it has this level to it that I think this could get you work, It's not going to be thousands and thousands of dollars, but I think you could get hired to do something.
I agree. I just think you'd get hired faster if this was a more professional image with professional or more professional looking models.
I agree. I think it depends on the market you're in, Like if you were in my hometown of Alabama, you'd be the best photographer in town,
And you would be starving and poor.
I don't know.
Not because of this picture, just because in Alabama, I don't think.
We don't starve in Alabama.
I'm just saying.
We're definitely not starving.
In Enterprise, Alabama, I don't see that many photographers flourishing. I'm not talking poorly about whoever took this. I'm talking about the market in Enterprise, Alabama.
Right.
It's a very
all you need is that
small
one
town.
hospital. And you're like, that's your one.
That's true. All right. Community gives it 2.66. Oh, man.
This is the number one reason why I haven't bought an iWatch. I don't want to see your face calling me on my wrist.
Really?
I
It's a
already
little
get
too
enough
close
of
for
you.
comfort?
Yeah, I already get enough of you here. But
Man,
that guy's pretty handsome.
I
there.
know, it bums me out, man. I used to have incredibly lush.
This photographer is trolling hard here. He's like, let me go find the best looking picture of Lee and put it in this.
Man, science.
And like he even has the band right. Like, is this your arm? Did he?
Well, what's weird is it does kind of look like my arm because I have the white band. I have the weird bump on my wrist like that. It looks like my arm, but I don't think I've taken a picture of my wrist that close, so I don't think this is my wrist. I don't know. It's kind of freaking me out.
All right.
Did you take this?
No.
All right, 3, 2, 1. 2 stars. We agree. I mean,
Here's the thing. If you're going to shoot an Apple product,
Yeah.
which one, it's going to be really difficult to put an Apple type image in your portfolio because nobody really shoots Apple, Like that's the highest level you could possibly have.
I know.
But if you are going to have an Apple product shot, it's got to be world class.
Yeah, it has to be
Like when you go to
perfect.
New York or I guess if you just flip through I always see Apple ads in New York. Like I don't you keep up with Apple a lot more than I do. I'm not reading all the keynotes and everything. But when I see those ads, it's like, they got the dark skin model and it's like they're lit with a huge softbox where it edges them out. It's like always these like really leading edge type of concepts,
But it's always about the product. Like the person would fall away.
So muted, yeah.
And they wouldn't have nasty ass looking arm hair and stuff.
This color grade and like that texture in the background, like nothing about this image is what Apple would do.
Right.
Like, is it even a compelling composite? Like, is that
no?
on
It's
the phone?
poorly. I think this is a joke, but I don't know. But right, this is a very sloppy. I mean, the watch itself isn't even in focus. So,
right.
Like obviously, you couldn't put this in your portfolio. Community gives it 2.39.
I think they're kind of stretching a little bit here with the technology, right? Like,
maybe so. This is low level technology. Are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. 2 stars. Is this one better or worse than the previous shot of my face on a watch?
I like the previous shot better.
I like this better.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, you change out the model on the last one, and
Watch it, Patrick.
no, I don't like this image.
I mean, I don't like this image. I still gave it 2 stars, but I feel like there's something going on with the horizontal lines, bottom, middle, and then top. It's kind of an interesting, like I would never crop an image that would have a black area like that on top, but it's making this image a little more interesting to me than it should be. But I still give it 2 stars.
This, to me, it's shot in the most interesting possible way it could be for absolutely no planning whatsoever. Like, with no lighting and no concept or anything, and you just said, shoot a picture of Swiss Army knife, go, and I'm going to give you 5 minutes. They've got the leading lines, they got the color tone, they like have an interesting pose to some degree.
Yep.
But like at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, that was just like an exercise or something.
Community agrees at 2.27 stars. So Patrick, we haven't done a Living in Puerto Rico update in a month or so, and I don't know that we will. Nothing
that crazy's happened.
Yeah, besides you breaking your arm and stuff.
We did have a meetup, which was cool. We met we had like 50 photographers.
One of the photographers who came was a woodworker, and he cut out a shape of Puerto Rico and then put our logo in the middle. I don't know how do you think he did that with our logo? I mean, even if you have all the tools in the world, is that a machine that's doing this?
If you have all the tools in the world.
Well, if you don't have, you have all the like hand tools, but you don't have the computer.
That's machine cut. There's no way he did that by hand.
Yeah, because like that would be so hard.
There's not
to
a
get
single
the logo.
chisel or like mess up in there, right?
Well, yeah, but you could still. I don't even want to try to guess, but anyway.
Really cool.
That was cool. It was a great meetup. It was probably the biggest meetup in Fstoppers history.
We announced it like 3 days before, and I think we had more people there than we did some of the ones in New York.
Yeah,
or
60
Vegas,
to 100 people
like
showed up, and then so many people were like, "You got to do it again." I wasn't able to come. I was shooting a wedding. I was doing a job. I had to be with my family. Whatever. So.
Just had a guy call me today. I was like, "I didn't know about the meetup."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We'll have to do it again. But if you happen to live in Puerto Rico, we created a Fstoppers Puerto Rico account on Facebook, a group. And so if you'd like to be a part of that, find it, and I will add you to the group. And we're just using that to hire some people. We're looking to hire an editor. We're meeting up with photographers. We actually have a video coming out soon where we filmed 3 local photographers. Still waiting on their pictures, so not my fault. Let's move on to the next image here. 3, 2, 1. 2 stars, really?
I want to give this a 3. I just feel like the stuff that looks so out of place is so out of place that it makes it look so cheap. If you take out the guy and take out the drone, maybe tweak the cloud stuff a little bit. I like this, and I assume this is a render.
No, this is for real.
This is a real building.
Yeah.
I didn't know if this could be a composite or something, like they've taken, like this tree could be a real tree. Or it could just be like, did you know there's like a tree filter in Photoshop?
I just recently learned about the tree filter in Photoshop.
I've been trying to get the tree filter in like all of our tutorials, and no photographer's ever like, yes, let me do it.
Yeah, in case you guys don't know what we're talking about, you can literally go into Photoshop.
Go down to like filters, then like render, and then there's trees.
You can make trees from nothing in 3D and like with different...
Randomize them and then pick how many leaves and what the
type of
shadow,
leaves.
where the lights. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I had no idea until recently that was
So
a
I
thing.
look at this and I just say, like, could this be a shot of solar panels? Could this be a shot, like, obviously I think the building's rendered, but like, could this be a shot of grass that they've cut in, and the clouds, I assume, I mean, I can't assume anymore, like maybe the clouds are renders too, but is there any element of this that's photography besides the drone and the drone flyer?
So I kind of agree with you. I don't think the guy necessarily looks that bad. I feel like the drone looks the worst.
Yeah.
And I feel like I am in a position to critique the drone because I just photographed the hell out of a drone and photoshopped the hell out of a drone, and I created this image that should be coming out in the next day or so.
And it looks better than this.
I hope it looks better than this. But I just feel like the biggest problem that I have with this, one, the drone's blurry and it kind of looks bad. I know that's motion blur, but the lighting on the drone doesn't make sense. We have hard lighting coming from the right to the left. Every part of this image makes sense.
It could make sense. If the drone was in the shadow of the building, maybe the light would look like this.
No.
But with the size...
Unless that drone is like the size of a van, then the drone is way above the top of the building. I mean, look, the drone is way bigger than the solar panel.
All I'm saying is you could say the lighting's bad and inaccurate, or the lighting's correct and the scale is off.
Yeah.
You could go either way with that.
I gotcha. But there's a lot.
I don't
of
understand
potential here.
why they made the grass look so like dirty, like it's like it needs to be pressure washed, and yet the building is pristine. Is there some commentary on like the outdoor roof garden or something?
Maybe that from an artistic standpoint you don't like that. From a
No, I'd rather just be a clean line and make it look like, man,
I feel like it
building
looks
is...
so much more realistic with that there though. All that dirt kind of
If that's the case,
falling
I just
off.
feel like you should make the building a little dirtier, something.
Okay. Let's see what the community says. 2.77. Next up. All right, I think we know how to rate this.
Where do you think this is?
I did this review recently of the Olympus M1X, and it has a train mode.
Yeah.
Where it can focus.
I read the comments.
It can focus on trains. It will just look for trains and focus on trains. And that sounds insane to me. It also has like a car and a plane mode. So I just made a joke in the video about like who the hell needs to track on to trains. And then all these people were like, actually in Japan, shooting trains is a big deal, and they need cameras with train tracking. And this looks like a lot of Asian guys with long telephoto lenses, so I like believing that they're all waiting to shoot a train.
Is this like, are they whale watching or something? Like, what in the world?
Or maybe they're shooting like a rocket taking off. I don't know what it is, but yeah, we're ready to rate this. 3, 2, 1. 1 star snapshot. Yeah, I mean, this is a cool image to document all the photographers, but there's absolutely nothing artistic about this. I do not feel like this should be in your portfolio.
There's no story either.
Well, there is some sort of story. It's
I
like,
know,
this is the fastest train coming. We all have to get it.
Yeah, but you need the train. You need the rocket. You need the whale. You need something where people are like,
maybe.
CNN going to run this image?
All right.
I don't
Community, 1.48. Next up. All right, I think I'm ready again. 3, 2, 1. Really, 1 star?
I still, I mean, this feels...
I'm in between
besides
a 1 and
it being
a 2.
at night and it having, like, some sort of composition.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of an interesting composition. He's cropping out the top of the dish on the right, and I feel like it kind of works. It's creating this diagonal shape.
I just feel like the lighting's so bad, the
Lighting's
color's
bad.
bad, the composition, and, like, the subject matter.
Yep.
I just, to me, this is, like, a really good snapshot, maybe. Like if I took that on my phone and sent my mom this and said, hey, look where we are,
Yes.
I'd be pretty happy with this outcome in this situation.
Would you save it to the camera roll, or would just go into the text message and be lost forever?
I save almost everything as a camera roll.
Okay. So
I have every picture I've ever taken. First phone I ever bought was the iPhone 2.
Yeah.
And I have to continually buy the newest iPhone. Like, I have an old iPhone. I have an iPhone 7. This is the longest I've gone.
Yeah.
But every time I buy an iPhone, I have to get the one with the largest hard drive, or the hardest SIM card or whatever it is in there, so I can store all the pictures. So I have, like, everything I've ever done.
Yeah, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
It's great. When you go out and you meet somebody really interesting, or you want to tell of an experience, oh my gosh, I was in Singapore once.
Yeah.
I can literally pull that image up and say, like, oh, that like here we are at.
But here's my argument. I think that 95% of the images in your camera roll are like I take pictures of a parking spot number if I'm leaving my car at the airport or something. I don't want to forget it.
Yeah, I mean, those should be deleted.
I take pictures of documents that I need to send my CPA. All that's in there.
There are times where I'm like, I need that document, and guess what? It's still in my phone.
You need it from 9 years ago. You're like, oh, that time.
With our bookkeeper in the United States, sometimes she's like, oh, you're opening or closing or paying some tax. Like, she'll be like, do you have that document? And I'm like, maybe. Maybe I do.
All right. Community gives this one 2.75, a little
Wow.
higher than I would have thought. Interesting composition. Very interesting.
I don't know that I've ever seen this, but my gut tells me that this is like one of those Instagram trends. Like, there's probably...
That bums me out if that's the case, because this feels very clever. I hope this photographer made this up on their own. Are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. 2 stars. We agree. All right, so this is like a world-class concept to me with a 2-star execution. I feel like the road and then the background and the bridge actually looks pretty good. But then the arm that looks like it's from a dead corpse, and the cutting out of the fingers with the halo, and then the background that's got a little bit too shallow depth of field. Like, all that
Do you
stuff.
make the depth of field F22 on everything?
I don't know. There's something interesting about having the shallow depth of field here, but
Or do you make the depth of field shallower in the phone too? Like, somehow the depth of field is shallow throughout all. Like it.
I don't know.
It's definitely an optical illusion.
Yeah, I don't want to say, I don't want to change that much. I just want it to be a better photograph of the hand, a better photograph of the phone, and a better photograph of the background.
Yeah, the hand, I mean... This image gave me such a creepy vibe.
Yeah,
the
you got to get
second
some
I
color in that palm, man.
You got to get a younger hand.
You're not getting any blood to that thumb. But, yeah, it just, it looks like it was taken outside in winter.
Well, what do you
It's
think of some
freezing.
of the, like, blur towards the bottom where the logo is?
Probably not a big fan of that. But it does lead my eye into the frame a little bit. I don't know.
I like the way you
like
said
this.
that. Great concept, horrible execution. Even near the right side of the bridge, there's all this like weird haloing and...
Redo this shot, but redo it with like the intention of I'm going to go all out. I want the phone to look perfect. I don't want you to be gripping the phone like some Neanderthal. Hold the phone nice, If you got crazy man hands, like get a woman with nice, delicate hands to hold it. Get this ugly sleeve out of the shot, But like do this really well, and this is going to be a fantastic image. It's really cool. Community 3.12. They like it a lot better than we do. All right, you ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. 2 stars. We agree. This feels like
1990s.
1990s textbook,
Yeah.
like a history textbook or a science textbook or something.
This wasn't history. Yeah, this is your
Well,
science.
I would think it would be history of like during World War II. It wouldn't probably be color, but during the Vietnam War, we built guns by the millions.
This is the
you
opening
know.
chapters picture, and it's like chapter 5,
Yeah,
the
but
new
yeah,
revolution.
It would probably be a science textbook. Interesting long exposure, but it just kind of feels like a lot of noise and stuff. I can't really tell what's happening, and so I can't give it more than 2.
Also, I've seen a lot of images like this where they have gelled or played with the white balance to where like the background might be blue and you're using the complementary colors, something to make it more three-dimensional or more dynamic.
Okay.
I don't know that would save this image, but everything's just so much in the, there's no color contrast here for me.
Community, 2.52. Okay, let's rate it. 3, 2, 1. 2 stars. We agree? It's not really doing it for me. I don't know. I don't like the composition. I don't like this stuff strewn on the table. I do like shooting down on things, but it's like all this dead space with the blue. It's not working. And if you're going to do this, then I think you need to play with the shadows and have the shadows create shapes. But because the light is so close to the camera, it's not really casting long shadows anywhere. It almost feels like
it's got like a
ring flash
I
or
think
something.
Do you not think it is? That's what I thought initially.
I don't exactly know. It seems like some sort of ring light type thing.
I mean, you can tell where the light is by looking at the lens, and the highlight is like right perfectly down the middle,
Maybe it is a ring
Same
flash.
with the drone, like
but
highlight.
But the drone, I mean, you can still see it's casting shadows from bottom right to upper left. I feel like the drone looks the best. Out of everything here, everything looks super flat and like cut out from clips of images on Google. But then the DJI, whatever drone this is, has nice gradation to it. Do you agree? Everything else is too flat and boring. And I just feel like if you play with the shadows, you could literally leave everything the same as this, but put the softbox above this scene and throw shadows down and down and to the right, something like that, and I think it would be really interesting. But because you have these really small shadows and this super flat blue color background, it just feels like this was cut out with the lasso tool and everything was placed. All right, community, 2.41. Oh, Patrick, now we're coming into your alley here.
Oh yeah, man, this just does it for me.
And do you ever want a guitar that was in the shape of something like this?
The Flying V. Yeah, if it was in 1959.
59 what?
I think they made it in 1959. I just like
Who made it?
the Gibson Flying V.
Is this a Gibson?
I can't tell. The Flying V was, I want to say that headstock. No, I don't think this is a Gibson, but I love watching these YouTube videos where they go, I should know what it is, but it's like they talk to their guitar techs and they just show all of their amps and guitars and pedals. And I recently watched one with the Edge, and holy shit, he has like 100 vintage guitars on the road. He plays, it's really nerding out, but he plays the exact guitar that he recorded the song with on tour. So it's like if you hear The Fly off of, whatever record, it's like he's playing that song with that guitar through like, the effects might not be the same, but he's dialed them all in. And he's got these guitars, and it's like this Flying V is in 1962 or whatever it is. It's the first year it came out. He bought it when he was 17.
Yeah.
And it's, it's probably worth like $80,000, and he still plays that guitar on that
So here's
song.
my question. I can kind of relate this to photography, but I cannot imagine that the majority of electric guitars sound any different from one another.
They do.
They do.
They feel and they sound different. Raw.
Exactly. So this is my point. All these photographers who say, oh, I need to shoot medium format or whatever, and then they go into Photoshop and just completely smooth out every pixel and change every pixel and change every color in post. You can't tell what camera it was shot on.
No, but there is something, and I love to rag on the photographers who shoot with the crazy cameras, and they like to shoot with film because but like it's very similar to guitar playing. It's like there's a feeling and an inspiration that you get holding a guitar. Like there's this guitar store in New York where you can go in there and you can pick up like, a 1954 Broadcaster, and you're like, this is crazy. I'm playing at like $100,000 guitar. and it feels different, and it inspires you
I
in different
agree.
ways. I draw the line. When you get to the studio and you plug it into all the amps and all the processing, you can make this unique guitar suddenly sound like any guitar. I draw the line though with camera gear. I'm thinking like some of these medium format cameras are so clunky, they're slow to focus, they're horrible at tracking, they're fragile. How many times have we been on set and like a medium format has blown up or stopped working? I have a hard time believing that you as an artist enjoy using some random camera because it inspires you the same way that an instrument does. I understand the instrument because I enjoy playing.
I think you're a hypocrite.
You think I'm a hypocrite?
Yeah, because
so when you have to slow down and take the film out and you get five
they
shots
love it.
and like,
they love
you
that.
think that you're able to in the moment actually get a better photograph of this person
No.
than if you could just shoot with the most modern camera.
No. Yeah,
then-
no, I don't think they can, but I don't think you can get that much better of a sound either. And I think if
No,
you,
I see that's
if I took your guitars and I gave them to a professional guitar player and I said, play some different songs and add all these insane effects with the million pedals you have, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between guitars. The sound is coming from the pedal, which is coming from out of this amp with all this distortion.
But the way that the only way I know how to describe it is if you just sit down and hand somebody who's a guitar player 50 guitars, unplugged, acoustic or electric, you feel different vibes. Like I know I'll go to we'll be in Europe and somebody will have a random guitar, you pick it up and it's like, I will play something I've never played because it makes me feel a different way. I don't know how to describe it. It's like variety,
Well, that's
probably
these photographers
you
who
probably
love.
you probably drive a car differently based on the way that it feels. I'm sure you drive your truck very different than you drive
I do.
your i3.
I do.
But at the end of the day, it's getting you from point A to B.
I agree. All I'm saying is you can't waste money on all your guitars and talk trash about all the photographers who waste money on. What's the brand from Germany or whatever that everyone loves to waste money on?
The Leicas?
Leica, yeah,
Okay,
Leica.
I thought you were going some abstract. I'm thinking like, what's the Germany?
No, Leica. Like I feel like it's crazy to spend 4 times the amount of
But
money.
we had a
for
buddy
less
who owned a
features.
Leica and he
Yeah.
shot weddings, and I know for certain the quality that he got was less
I know,
than when he
I
shot with a
know.
Nikon or
I
Canon.
know, but from
it
his,
didn't focus well and it was slow.
But he came up with all of these reasons why it was better. Like, no man,
All
it's
the professionals
smaller, and like if I come with a big DSLR, the clients feel uncomfortable. I can get more honest, real images with the Leica. Guess what? He sold the Leica and now he's shooting with Canon.
Let's
again.
rate this image.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. I went 3. You went 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it feels so deviant art. It feels so 2000s. It doesn't feel commercially
But you
viable.
like the ones that feel 80s and 90s earlier.
Because they had a stylistic, I don't know how to describe it. Like, this just feels, I just don't know. Like, I could see where you're going with the other images and that there could be a market for it. I don't know what the market is for this. This is never featured in a guitar magazine. I don't even know if those still exist with the tabs and everything. I assume that's all online.
Yeah.
Like, this just feels like an experiment. Hey, I got an LED light. I'm going to try to do something. And it's not showcasing the guitar off well in any way.
Yeah, well, what's the top of the guitar called?
The
Is that a
headstock?
headstock? I wish you could see that better. I feel like that's a mistake. And then I feel like
It almost looks like a Paul Reed Smith or something. But
That's exactly what I was thinking. But, all the lighting around the bottom of the base of the guitar looks pretty good to me. Around the neck of the guitar, it looks a little sloppy to me. It's like too much. But I still gave it 3 stars. Maybe it's 2. But community, 2.61. They're right in between us.
no.
I thought it was a unique idea. You were right. I was wrong. Damn it.
What is that there's probably dozens of them, but the Instagram account that we wrote about, they just feature like every picture on their Instagram account is like a 9-picture panel of the same location or the
everybody's
same
just
concept.
copying. Oh, man. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. 2 stars.
Do you think this one's done better than the other one?
No. I feel like maybe the hand looks a little more alive.
The bottom half, like, just crop it. Like, I mean, I guess you want to see the end of the bridge, but the foliage is just nuclear. It's like the cave shootout that I did with Josh. It's like it just wasn't a good time to shoot the trees. That's the same thing. Like the trees in the bottom look okay, but the trees up above, it's just the light's bad. It's too high in the sky.
Cool concept that obviously everyone is ripping off. Poor execution, just kind of feels snapshotty with decent Photoshop in this one. Community, 2.68.
Is there anything else that you want to get off your chest?
Well, in terms of, just updating people on our lives here in Puerto Rico, everything's been going pretty well. Every local photographer that we've met has been just so kind, so inviting, so helpful. People still reach out and are like, oh, you want to buy this? You want to try this restaurant? Here, you should go here. Hey, let's meet up over here. I've been trying to have lunch with anybody who's in the area, and it's been great. I have had a little trouble with the DMV here.
No, really?
Yeah, just a little.
Sounds shocking.
Just a little.
I wouldn't have thought that.
This isn't necessarily a Puerto Rican problem as much as it is just a government problem, just the way things work. But I'll try to tell this story as quickly as possible. We shipped our cars from the mainland here, and you get some sort of governmental insurance of like $4,000 to get the car out of the port, and that's apparently the only insurance you have to have by law.
So it's not just the cars we shipped, but it's all cars on the island.
Yeah. Which seems insane to me. So like, people are saying if you get in a wreck with somebody, there's a 95% chance they won't have insurance past $4,000, which is crazy. Like, what if?
So you have to sue them, or they sue you?
Yeah, but they're not going to have any money. If you don't have car insurance, obviously you don't have any money. So I don't know what happens if you get paralyzed or something. Like, who's going to pay for that? So I wanted to get car insurance, but before I could get car insurance, they were like, you got to get your license plate. All right. And the thing is, because we're still in the U.S. and I've paid for a license plate through the year for my South Carolina license, I thought like, I'll just wait a year. I think I could do that. But anyway, I had to go get a license. How many times did we go to the DMV? Like 2-3 times?
Yeah, I've been in that building at least 4.
Yeah, so every time we would go, I can only handle so much insanity in one day before I start going insane. So I can enjoy a little bit of ridiculousness if it's just a little bit.
So like in a little bit, it's like 2 to 3 hours. Which
well,
is,
I mean, at that point, I'm starting to go insane.
Yeah.
But, we'll wait in line, and, like waiting in line's funny for a little bit, and like just seeing what's going on in line. And then you get up there and you talk to somebody, and you're guaranteed that no matter all the paperwork we have, you're guaranteed to not have it right. You're missing something. You got to go talk to this other person. You got to go to this department. You got to pay this fine. So I kind of went into this saying, when I go in here, I'm going to pay the fee, and they're going to then tell me I got to go somewhere else. And I'm just prepared for it. So they tell me that, and I'm just like, you got to go upstairs. And then I go upstairs, and then every time you go to the place they tell you, they act like, what? Who sent you here?
Yeah, I've
Why?
had that too. Like, they told you to come to this building, and I'm like, here's the handwritten note. And they're like, well, that's us.
Yeah, I wonder why they... And then, they go talk to their friend. And luckily, everybody that has been helping us has been able to speak English. But, they're always just so confused. And I think, like...
How does things run? How do they get anything done here?
Yeah, and it makes me so angry that, like, we have the internet. This should just be some automated thing.
We have the technology.
Yes.
As
like,
we've seen.
We want to give you our money. So anyway... first of all, you have to get your car inspected for like emissions or something. And I had to get my truck inspected, but then I had already gotten an inspection for my i3, which was an electric car. Well, I go to one place and another place and another place, and I'm getting papers from all these places and paying fees and everything. I come back and the lady's like, you don't have the right inspection for your i3. You need an emissions inspection. You have this other type of inspection. I said, there's no emissions. I don't need that inspection. You have to have that.
Because every car, I believe, in the port is inspected to some degree. Because there's an inspection to like leave the port and come onto the island. Like they inspect it in the Puerto Rican port, then it's released.
Right.
But that's not the inspection that you need.
Right. So she makes me go back to the inspector, and that guy doesn't speak English. And so he's got this wand, and he's trying to stick it in my tailpipe, which I don't have. And he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, it's an electric car. And he's like, why are you here? You know, and we're trying to speak to each other in our broken languages.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know, man. They told me I had to. So
Can't you just sign a sheet of paper and like...
Exactly. So he finally just signs a sheet of paper saying that I have no emissions, whatever. So then I have to go to this other department and I have to get these golden tickets. I don't know what the hell these things are called, but like instead of accepting credit card or cash at the DMV, you must go to another separate location and buy these golden tickets from the government.
They're like tax stickers or something.
Yes,
I think they're stamps.
Insane. Oh my gosh, it's insane. And I go there, and I have this sheet of paper with like the taxes for my truck. And it's like I have to pay, I don't know how much, $151.32 for the truck. And as I'm about to pay, I say, now you guys know I have another BMW i3, right? And they're like, oh, well, where's the paper for that? And I say, you know what? They didn't give me that. Of course, everywhere I go, they're not giving me what I need.
They only gave you one.
They gave me one just for the truck. So I say, double up the golden tickets. I got $151 for the truck.
You doubled down. You
Give
said,
me $151 in golden tickets for the i3. And they said, but wait.
we don't know.
You're going to be paying too much. And I said, I don't even care. I don't even care. I've been trying to do this for 4 days. Every time I stand in a line, it's like I'm about to go crazy. I just go home because I can't handle it.
Yeah.
So I go back. I'm doing all the paperwork. I'm at the DMV.
You bought tickets for both.
I bought tickets for both. I spent $302. She does the truck. I'm good. She gets to the i3 and she's like, this is too much. And I'm like, it's fine.
I overpaid.
You can keep the money. I'm supporting the Puerto Rican government.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They didn't take it.
I'm sorry. It has to be the exact amount of golden tickets.
Of course it does. Of
and I'm
course.
like, are you kidding me?
It's printed out or it's like...
Yeah, so they give you all these...
It's not like cash where it's like $20. It's
no,
like to the penny.
I thought it was. But yeah, like each golden ticket...
It's like a check.
It's like a check, but it's on a golden ticket from Willy Wonka. And it'll say like $73 or $23. And there's different taxes for each golden ticket. And it's like a list for each car. It's a nightmare. So at this point, I'm like, I'm about to have a panic attack because I'm on day 3 or 4 of trying to do this. But I'm just like, serenity now. I'm just going to go home. Yeah. I'll pick this up on another day when I can enjoy this again. So I go back to the golden ticket store. Guess what they won't give me? They don't give me a refund on the golden tickets. They're like, you have to drive to San Juan and you have to talk to the mayor of the town and get them to give you your $150 back.
It's like the guy in the purple suit with the top hat. You have to track him down.
Yeah. So I'm like, sell me some more golden tickets. This time it's for like $132.53 for these golden tickets.
So you had the right amount.
Yeah, but now I've got $151 of these golden tickets. But here's the thing. If the golden tickets had value and I could use them for other things, then I would just hold on to the golden tickets, and next time I had to do something related with the government, I would pay the golden tickets. But the fact that it must say the exact number on the ticket makes them literally worthless. So the next time, I have to drive to San Juan and like wait in line again to try to get my money. And I guarantee they're going to be like, they told you to come here? They said we could pay you for these golden tickets?
We've never refunded a golden ticket before.
Yeah, where did you get this from? This doesn't even look real. That's how they're going to act, I guarantee it.
I just can't believe you would have tried to persuade the guy to sell you a golden ticket for more.
That's how like tired of this I was.
But that's just not the way. I would have told you that there's no way that's going to pan out.
Why would you have told me that? But the guy who works for the golden ticket store tell me that.
Was he like, sure, this happens all the time? Or did he warn you? Like, I don't know.
I mean, he was like, really? You want to pay more than you should? And I was like, yes, I've spent days of my life doing this. Like, I have to get back to work. I can't keep going to the DMV every day. I don't care if I lose $40. It's not a big deal to me.
I think everybody out there now feels like they've been to the DMV. They're like, this is the longest story.
Sorry. All right, let's get back to this critique. 3, 2, 1. 2 stars. We agree. I mean, somewhat interesting. I like the black and white conversion on this. I like the lighting on this, but it just kind of, the subject matter itself just kind of feels like a snapshot to me. You know, it's like you go to a, I was going to say farmer's market. It's not that, but you know.
You go to Bonnaroo.
Burning Man or what? Yeah. I don't know, but it doesn't. If the guy was dressed like an old timey person, glass blower, then maybe it would feel a little more genuine.
One thing that throws me off, like there's so much depth of field in this image. There's still some it's still out of focus to a degree, but this feels like it's shot at like 5.6 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like the way that this wheel in the back falls perfectly in his hands, I keep thinking like when I first glanced at this, I thought he was driving something.
Oh, that's
and
weird.
I feel like that's a weakness in this image. There could be some situations where like it gives a double take. It's like if you've seen these pictures of like
I see it, yeah.
It's like these pictures where you see the young beautiful woman, and then if you look a second time, you see like the old lady, and it's like the way the neck. It's usually drawings and stuff, but I feel like this now, it's just a weird. You just need to move.
Yeah, he's the most awkward bus driver ever. All right, Community, 2.77. Man, I just saw my first rocket launch when I was at Disney World.
Really?
Yeah, somebody told us as we were going to Disney World, we were actually going to one of the Disney World resorts, and I timed it, and I ran out to like a marina area behind the resort, and we got to watch it take off, I guess from Cape Canaveral. Is that what's down there? Didn't look quite this cool, but it was a cool first time experience.
Could you hear anything, or is it you just see it?
No, I could not hear anything. So I want to go and see it up close so that I can really experience everything. And then I want to see the SpaceX stuff like land themselves. That'd be amazing.
Can you see that? You have to go out to the ocean.
No, they're landing on land now. They do
are
both.
they?
They do some on the barge. All right, are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. 2 stars. We agree. Not that exciting. I feel like this is kind of.
It's a cool memory.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing
memory.
to be like, we were there for that.
And most people who saw this don't have the knowledge or the equipment to take the long exposure.
This is the best picture. You can't say the best picture taken anywhere of this event, but like at that moment.
Yeah. But should you put this in your portfolio? No. Should you put this in your scrapbook? Yes. Community, 2.81. They like it a little more than us. Oh, that wraps up this critique.
Ooh, that was a long one.
That was a long one.
Got a lot off our chest, though.
We did, and I feel like I should quickly tell the story of my credit card, just because, or my driver's license. Feel free to turn this video off. If you'd like to be a part of the next critique, you can click on the description. We have a link. Upload your pictures with seamless backgrounds right now. But the wallet. So I lost my wallet. I don't remember if this was from a critique that we talked about this or like an update Puerto Rico that we talked about this. I lost my wallet, and I'm pretty sure the last thing you said was, you know, when you get a new driver's license, you're going to find your wallet.
Always. That's the rule. It's like Ohm's law or something.
Spoiler alert. Immediately after.
The day of.
The day I came back home
I was
with
there.
my license.
You were in the hot tub.
Yeah. And I found my wallet.
You didn't find it. Your wife found it.
No, I found it.
Oh, Katie was in the hot tub, and I was with you upstairs.
Yeah, I started screaming because it had fallen behind like wine bottles in our kitchen. I don't know if this was my fault. I don't know if somebody moved it and set it on top and it fell back. But it was in a place. It was in a place that I would never put a wallet, so it made no sense. Anyway,
they never.
I go to the DMV, and I had just gotten my driver's license, and it was a pain in the ass to get a driver's license, you know, because I have to have like the
golden tickets.
You got to get the golden tickets again.
The eye exam in another building.
Yeah, you got to get like a lawyer involved. You got to get you got to have the Social Security card. I haven't had a Social Security card in like 30 years, but yet I had to get it. I had the birth certificate. It was a huge pain in the butt. So I thought, I've already got all my information. Plus,
just get another one.
Yeah, I was just there. So
they know you.
I'll just tell them to reprint it. No. I wait in line for an insane amount of time, and the lady's like, "Where is your police report?" I'm like, what are you talking about? Police report?
No crime was committed.
I'm almost positive it's in my house anyway. I just need another driver's license. She was like, "Oh, you have to go to the police department." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And so as I'm about to leave, and she was like, "Oh, and you have to go to a lawyer after you go to the police department, and you have to get the lawyer to like sign that, you know, they agree with you." I don't know what she's talking about.
You're like true testament. Like you're giving like true statements.
I don't know. It's insane to me. I look at her with this face of like, are you kidding me? Like I'm thinking about just never having a driver's license again. Like take me to jail because I cannot do that. I cannot live my life like this.
Could you imagine going to jail here and then trying to get out?
I'd never get out.
You'd never
They'd
get
be
out.
like, where's that form and where's the golden tickets? And I'd be like, no, I don't have the driver's license to buy the golden tickets. I can't do it. So I think you were at the DMV trying to get your license plate. You were in another line.
I was 2 steps ahead of you, yeah.
So I go to a police department and they're like, this is the wrong police department. So they send me to this other one. Luckily, the lady
How do you
was
go to the wrong police department? They can't file police
I
reports?
don't know, man. I don't know.
I thought a cop on the street could file a police report.
Well, I talked to this other woman, and she doesn't speak English very well at all, but she was the nicest lady ever, and she helped me with everything. She like filled out all the forms and everything. It was so fast. Obviously, this is a common problem. So she just kind of did everything. And then, because everyone knows how insane governments are, the lawyer's office is right next to the DMV. So I go in
He has it
there.
all planned out.
I buy in the lawyer won't work for money. The lawyer only works for golden tickets also. So it's like I'm buying golden tickets from the lady at the desk to then hand to the lawyer that works 2 feet away. It's insane. It's like I'm in some sort of
Twilight Zone or something?
yes. Like how can you people live like this? They pull up some Microsoft Word document, and I don't remember what they charged me. It was like $100 or something to
They
change
changed
the
the
name
the
to
date.
like Robert Morris instead of the last guy's name, Juan. I wait in line again, and it's like, and then I gotta wait in line. I do everything.
Dude, if we
I
could
get
just,
it.
do you still have that report? We could sell those.
Oh, I know, but we would have to be lawyers. We'd have to.
They just need to see that the paper.
Well,
came.
that's the thing. I like nobody knows anything's legit. Like if I could have gone on Google and just like printed off a police report with just scribbles on it, they would have been like, that's fine. And then I could have printed off the thing from the lawyer and just scribbled on it. That's fine.
That would be forgery, though, and we're not advocating that.
No,
but-
of course I would never suggest you do that. But
So you get everything.
holy
You go back to the
crap.
DMV. You get your driver's license.
Yeah, after hours.
Yeah.
And then
Did
I
you get a
come
new
home.
picture, or is it the same picture?
No, they just hit print.
Okay.
I was just there a week before getting it done. And then I come home and find it. I had spent so much time getting all my credit cards and debit cards. We have so many different business
I feel like that's
accounts
the
now.
worst because you actually have to change numbers on stuff that you use all the time.
Right.
The DMV, like, it's a pain that day
Yeah.
or 2 days, however long.
I think I might have worked 3 days on it.
But you get the ID card and it's done. But the credit cards and like who knows what else
Well,
you
I
have
was
in
calling.
there.
I was calling Bank of America, and Bank of America, would say, okay, this is the personal debit card department, and I'm like, okay, I have 2 other businesses, and I have a personal credit card, and they would say, ooh, we have to transfer you to that, and they transfer me, and then there's a 50% chance that it just hangs up. There's a 25% chance that you're on hold for like another 30 minutes. And then there's another 25% chance that someone picks up, but it's not the right person.
They
They're
cannot
like,
help you.
oh, you need to speak to that department.
And then they always follow it with, why did they send you to
Yeah,
me?
I know. It's
I
like
know.
the same in Puerto Rico. Really? They sent you to me? What? It's like, what are you talking about?
We have got to end this because this is getting
This has gone
ridiculous.
a little bit
yeah,
too far. Yeah,
but
I apologize, everyone who sat through this. Yes,
love
join
to
the
read
next
the
critique.
comments below because if you enjoy more of a loose critique with some stories and anecdotal stories,
You know what? I feel like everyone who watches, they just want the same crap. And
they're
here's-
like, do what you did the first time because you got it so right.
I know, but here's the thing. The critiques communities aren't wildly popular. Maybe we get like 25,000 views or something. It's not wildly popular. And the thing is, the people that watch them like what we're doing.
Yeah.
We've lost all the other 750,000 YouTube subscribers that we have who are like, oh, we like other stuff Fstoppers does, but the critiques are boring. That's why I thought, hey, let's try something different. Let's try 10.
Yeah.
Let's try something different. Let's just, casually talk about things rather than just talk about pictures. But I don't know. We're trying to figure out what is most fun to watch.
It's about to be sunset and we have other videos we got to film. So we have got to
Oh
go.
my gosh.
It's late,
Yeah. All right. Let's be done. Bye, guys.